Okay, this is our daily study of Pirkei Avot for those who have yard site for tonight, the 30th of Nisan. Charles Fishman, Shirley Greenberg, Rose Osman, and Louis Wasserman. May their memory be for a blessing. So we're in chapter 1 of Pirkei Avot, Mishnah number 8. And as always, the link to the text of the Mishnah will be in the first comment below. Yehuda ben Tabai and Shimon ben Shetach kiblu mehem. So Yehuda ben Tabai and Shimon ben Shetach received the tradition from their predecessors, and they were the co-leaders of the Jewish people. Yehuda ben Tabai Omer. So Yehuda ben Tabai says, Al tas atzmecha ka'orchei hadayanim. Do not, when serving as a judge, do not act as a lawyer. Okay. Ukeshayiyu balei hadin omdim lefanecha yiyu v'einecha kirishayim. When the litigants stand before you, consider them both as guilty. But when they are dismissed from you, consider them both as innocent, provided that they have accepted the judgment. Okay, so I mentioned that a lot of the statements are in threes, and this one is as well, so they're sort of easy to remember, three-part lessons that each of these rabbis are teaching. Okay, so the first is this is directed at judges, and a lot of Pirkei Avot was directed at rabbinic judges, as Rambam points out. When serving as a judge, do not act as a lawyer. So orchei hadayanin, and in modern Hebrew, the term for a lawyer is also this, orech din, he who prepares the judgment. Now, it's interesting to note that in the Beit Din system, the Beit Din is a Jewish court, usually comprising 3 judges, a 3-judge panel, and goes by the majority, 2 against 1. For capital cases, you have 23 judges, interestingly enough, and then there's the Supreme Court. The Sanhedrin has 70, with the 71st judge serving as a tiebreaker. But what's interesting is that in that Beit Din system, in the Jewish court system, it actually does not require lawyers. Apparently, lawyers are optional because the Mishnah here mentions that there was such an institution as an Orech Din. But the system does not require lawyers. So here you can insert your favorite lawyer joke, right? Wouldn't that be the best system with no lawyers? And I believe the Beth Din of America, which is in New York, the Beth Din of the Rabbinical Council of America, which is the major modern Orthodox Beth Din affiliated with Yeshiva University, for example, I think they don't even allow Orech Dins. They don't, or Toanim. Sometimes they're called Toanim. People who basically act as lawyers. They just want it to be the traditional way, where there's just the 3-panel judges, the 3-judge panel. In America, such a Beit Din system is legal because it's basically binding arbitration. They only have power over financial matters, really, or anything that you submit to them for, within reason. They can't put people in jail. They don't run their own jail systems. But and Muslims have something similar with Sharia law. You can sign a legally binding document that I submit to these 3 rabbis for binding arbitration of my financial dispute, and that you are taking upon yourself that Jewish law will apply as these rabbis see it. So that's how Beit Dins function in America. Okay, now all that being said, the judges are don't be like a lawyer. Don't say, hey, this guy is really a good guy and he's being accused of this crime, but I bet he didn't really do it. Now, I think I mentioned before that there's a whole system of commentary, a system of thought to study Pirkei Avot, that all the Mishnahs are interrelated, and that one Mishnah should be seen as commenting or dovetailing on what came before. So it's important to point out that 2 Mishnahs prior to this, we had the lesson, Havedanet kol adam l'chafskus, judge everyone favorably. The Mishnah after that talked about, but don't associate with wicked people. So that's probably related. Judge everyone favorably. But the next Mishnah says, don't be naive. Don't associate with wicked people. And this one also is sort of following on the heels of all of that. Judge everyone favorably. However, if you're a judge, that's not your job. As we're going to see, you have to be completely impartial. So don't be like a lawyer. Okay. When they're in front of you, you have to view them as if they're wicked. That also relates back to judge everyone favorably. No, when you're a judge, and it was the judge's job to cross-examine, once again, not lawyers in the Beit Din system. So when you're cross-examining that person, you have to view them just for that purpose at that moment as if they're completely wicked, because you're trying to get to the absolute truth and really break down their story. But then finally, this is kind of a beautiful way to end. But then when they're no longer standing in front of you, you should view them as if they're innocent, as long as they accepted the judgment upon themselves. And it says as if they're innocent, right? Let's say they were actually found guilty. But you, as a human being, that's when, as a judge, you revert to being a regular human being. Judge everyone favorably. You know, the case is over. When they were in front of you, you thought you had to treat them as if they're completely wicked to get to the bottom of the case. You had to not be a lawyer. You had to be completely impartial. But when it's all over, go back to being a regular person, and it's as if they're innocent, right? They might have actually been found guilty, but in your human heart, say, you know what? Maybe they were actually innocent. Maybe they're mitigating factors. So, okay, a lot of ideas to balance. Okay, so we can say the memorial prayer. Elo aslifos chanun v'rachum erech apayim v'rav chesed hamtzei kaparas pesha v'akravas yasho menuchen nechona tachas kanfei ashkina b'malos kedoshim tahorim kizor harakia mazhirim es nishmos kol haskaros shel halayla shel chuli olamah Ana bal harachmim zachar lehem latova kol zchuyosem etzikosem b'artos apayim upsach lehem shari tzedek v'ora sharichem levchanina v'seser kenethecha tastirem liolamim utzor v'tzor achayim es nishmasam Adonai hu nachlasam Yanuchu b'shalom mishkavam min omar amen. And in English, including the names, we'll say the prayer following the study of Mishnah. Please, O Hashem, full of mercy, for in your hand is the soul of all the living and the spirit of every human being. May you find favor in our Torah study and prayer for the souls of Charles Fishman, Shirley Greenberg, Rose Osmond, and Louis Wasserman. Continue to accept them with love and affection and send them your holy and pure angels to lead them to settle into the tree of life near the souls of the righteous and devout men and women, to enjoy the radiance of your presence, to satiate them from your good that is concealed for the righteous. May their body repose in the grave with proper contentment, pleasure, gladness, and peace, as it is written, let him enter in peace, let them rest on their beds. Everyone who has lived in his proper way, as it is written, let the devout exult in glory, let them sing joyously upon their beds. And as it is written, if you lay down, you will not fear. When you lay down, your sleep will be sweet. Amen.